Yeah, even though we said Zest kind of lost a series against Sora rather than Sora winning, Sora still played really well practiced and really well. So this guy, of course, is practicing so much for this tournament, like you just mentioned, and now he goes down 0-2 to his opponent. He's got to be crushed.
That was a builder or loss, essentially, too, which is always the most frustrating way to lose to a teammate. It gets in your head. Deadwing, a big map, though. Probably going to see a bit of a little bit more strange game here if Sora wants to play it that way. I think we'll definitely be seeing the mid-game. Here almost looks like he can't believe it. He was able to take those 2 wins like that. I can't believe he took that first one the way he did. That's for sure, man.
Yeah. What an awesome game that one was.
All right, guys. 1 victory away here for herO for 2 3-0s today. Not what I expected to see. Let's see if Sora can bring it back here on Deadwing.
Down here in the bottom right in the red, he's down 0-2 and looks crushed. It is Sora.
And, you know, he's got to stay focused. Up to the top left in blue, cross spawns on this map. It's herO, big map. We're gonna have to see some of that same game 1 decision making if Sora wants to play this weirdly, because that's what Sora likes to do. That's his style. So let's wait and see the gateway timings. I don't think we're going to see an early gate on this map. Much less likely.
Would be surprising. Especially out of herO. I mean, he just did it. So.
Yep. Looks like we're going to see 13 gates.
Yep.
Looks that way with the probe rally here.
Just the norm.
Yep, both players starting at the exact same time. So, cross spawns means aggression is weaker, timing attacks are weaker, Colossi-oriented attacks, you know, counter attacks. Say someone kills a lot of your workers, and then but you have a larger army than him. It's a little bit weaker at these spawning locations to be able to counter attack and punish for that. So these things are all things to keep in mind. Blink Stalker play can still be good. 3 gateway, not as good. It takes you a pretty long time to get that set up. Even though you have those instant warp ends, you still have to set up the pylon. You've got to get it across the map. And, you know, expansion play is obviously going to be probably the name of the game here. It might even be a game that's, at least the early game of it, decided by risks. Oh no, Sora says no. Not about that.
You know what, you were saying Sora has to do something different here and throw kind of herO for a loop. And it looks like that's what we're going to see. Based on the positioning, the fact that he scouted that base, he knows that herO's in the top left, so Stargate units can get over there really fast. Could also be DTs. Let's not count that out. He's going to keep the probe over here.
It's pretty crazy that he decides to do this. I mean, consider, like, he made the pylon before he really went up the ramp. It's pretty brave. Let's see what he decides to build there. I think it's going to be a Stargate, actually. I don't think he's going to go DTs. I could be wrong.
Let's see.
Stargate.
Yep.
Okay, it's a really good spot for this. herO's getting a Stalker. That's going to be really helpful. He's also going to have his Mothership core out right away.
Yeah. Sora, he does put down the Stargate first, which means that it does come out fast, but based on his gateway timing, it was at 13. So it's not as fast as herO's from the last game, but it's still really, really fast. So
yeah, it's a quick Stargate, and it's quick by rush distance by air, I guess I should say. The Stalker will deny the Scout. Sees there's no Nexus, so that's just a little bit of extra information for him. I don't know if he saw the Mothership core, actually, but you can reasonably assume it's probably out by now. herO's Scout will come over here as well, and he's going to see that there's nothing here. It's actually not denying that Scout's pretty huge. Oh, no, he didn't get in.
No.
I thought he went in. Okay, no, he didn't go in. Our mini-map is always a bit blurry on our screen. Hopefully you guys see better than we can. Okay, so.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty huge, because had he got in and been like, wait, you only have 1 gate and no Nexus, and no tech that I could see, you got a proxy Stargate.
Yeah. Well, here we go. First Oracle is out right away, and look at this. herO's like, okay, I'll just keep it here. This is how I can be safe, you know. Just because the Stargate is a little bit slower, we do see 2 Stalkers out here for now. Blink is being chrono boosted. He's coming right in.
Yeah, he just wants to ignore. There's a Nexus Cannon, though. Only 2 kills. Oh! Nearly sniped it, too.
One more. would have gone down.
That's rough. That's not what he wanted to see. That's not what he wanted to have happen.
Yeah. You know, you were talking about game 2, just a bit of a build order loss. We saw sentries being made by Sora in that game. And here, Sora tries to do the same thing, but herO is totally ready.
Keep in mind that with this, Sora actually scouted the Twilight Council and the Robo. So a follow-up with DTs is pretty risky. He does have a Twilight Council. I think he's just going to get his own blink. He's actually doing neither right now as he can't afford the blink. There's the blink. Okay, so he's going to have his own delayed blink and a slightly faster Nexus, and his own robotics will come in time as well. But just in general, herO is pretty ahead right now.
For sure. Oracle coming by for another pass. Is going to be able to scout this Nexus.
Yeah, and he wants to see if the army's at home or not. And he's just going to... He doesn't even want to show the Oracle. Leaving sentries in the main and not the stalkers actually could cause him a problem, but okay, he's got blink, don't forget.
Oh, this Oracle is going to go down. Yeah.
Didn't even show the blink. Oracle died first, so...
He didn't, that is true, but earlier when he came for the pass, he did see the Chrono Boost on the Twilight Council, so... Yeah,
he can assume blink is definitely going to be a factor.
Although he is blocking the ramp here.
Yeah, but he's just keeping it safe. You know, he knows he just lost his only form of detection right now, and he's got to be really concerned that maybe DTs come in, because he did see that Twilight Council, so it's always a possibility. Yeah. And the Nexus does finish here. Stalkers are going to come up and tap it, but, you know...
Just tap it and walk back.
They're going to go knock and hear the sound. And he could basically, with this, knowing that he has his blink advantage, try to force a Nexus cannon, maybe kill a probe or two. In fact, that's exactly what he's going to get for one Stalker. So a bit of not the best trade there. But here comes that Oracle back into the natural. And he has to pull the probes. He's got nothing to defend right now. Only sentries, and they're able to finally push this back. And he will maybe
the blink, he gets
it.
Oh, man. Sora, I don't know. He forced the Nexus Cannon and wanted to do more damage in the main, but I feel like that was a bit risky here. Oh, catches some Stalkers, though.
Wow, a nice catch, but unfortunately, with his own blink, he's able to escape. Well, the Stalker's very low. Maybe he didn't target the right one. Oh. I think it was the middle one he should have clicked there.
Yeah.
Anyways, he still could potentially get it. The blinks continue. It looks like they're still all escaping. But he's chasing pretty far. He's got 7 Stalkers to 5 right now. No forward warping point, though, so it's just going to be transitioning. Obviously, the Forge shows this as well. And he's just going to come up here, get a little bit friendly, and then get out. The counter blink going to catch a Stalker or two, though. Meanwhile, the Oracle comes back in. Okay, this is smart. How many probe kills can he net? It looks like about 3.
This is his 3rd Oracle right now on the map. I don't know. It hasn't done all that much damage. It was a cool little idea there to try to bait out the blink and then go for it, but still not that many kills, just 3.
Yeah, and the worker count is still ahead for Sora, but it's not a huge lead. But he's continuing to try. A few more kills here. 2, 3, 4. Maybe get a 5th one.
Oh, man.
No,
a couple more shots. The +1 wasn't finished there. Maybe he would have been able to get that if it had the +1.
This is looking like, though, I have to say, Sora's getting into herO's head a little bit. He's controlling the map. He's controlling the pace right now.
Yeah, he's fighting for his life right now.
What's out there? Okay, it's an observer. I was worried about that. I think the observer was too. JKS, look at this. Because the observer actually sees this. And, you know, taking a 3rd base and getting Colossi pretty risky on almost any other map. On this map, maybe he could do both. Because it's very expensive. It means you have a lot less units. No Immortals, really. And, in fact, he has no Immortals on the map. So, this is a scary moment. But remember what I said? The very first thing I said when we came to this game is that cross spawns on this map makes counterattacks and punish moves a lot harder.
Yeah, because he's playing the map very well.
Yeah, it's so long to walk across.
And herO knows this as well. He's like, oh, I can't just walk across the map and kill you, so I got to put down my 3rd base right away. Like, I just saw how far along yours was. I got to catch up here.
Sees that even a quick mater here on the probes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's going to redirect those or not. He's a little bit too early. Looks like he's not, but that's all right. With that trip. So they have a variation in tech here. Sora is going for Colossi, as I mentioned before, but we have the Charge Zealot Archon composition coming out for herO first. It's this idea of a little bit more of a faster, more flexible composition in the Zealots versus a really strong, powerful composition. I call it the hand versus the fist, like in PvP. The hand is the Zealots and the fist is the Colossi. You get this Colossi ball that can move around strong like a big swinging punch. It can hit bases really hard, whereas the Zealot composition gives you a lot of more harassment potential. You could run in with your Zealots. You could do more drops with your Zealots. Big revelation in the main base, just getting some scouting information, checking that timing on the Forge as well.
Yeah. One thing I want to mention, the upgrades here for herO, slightly farther ahead. He's got that +2 a little bit out.
Yeah,
here.
That's
about
really
to finish
important.
here, actually.
Much faster charge, too. These things just important to keep in mind. All right, he's going to come up here and poke a little bit. He wants to really check the composition and just keep him scared. Keep him back because he knows he needs a little bit more time to get that Colossus count up. Look at how late the Bay is for herO comparatively to add this comp into his mix.
Yeah. Do see a second robotics facility coming up here. You know, we saw that Templar Archives come down here, and he did make 3 High Templar. But since then, he's making a lot of very gas-heavy buildings. And looks like possibly might want to switch into just double Colossi production here.
Yeah, I think that's what he's going to do. I mean, well, it's pretty clear he's got the second robo right in the Bay.
Yeah.
But how much does he commit to that? It's going to take a long time to build that sort of composition. Nice scout on this. He spots it and blinks and kills it. Huge, huge gain there. That's 600 minerals down the drain. And also the elimination of a threat that he no longer has to worry about. He can rest easy. That was a nice pick off there. Those watchtowers getting a lot of vision for him in the middle of the map right now. Yeah, and he's got that Oracle still lurking around. It's going actually to the third base right now. Does get picked off though. All that happened on the mini map. I was watching it like a hawk.
Second Stargate coming up here for Sora.
And he's just, and the green commentators noticed as well, he's going to make another Oracle. He's just always maintaining that threat.
Yeah. This is an interesting little pylon there. We'll be able to see when that 4th base is coming up.
I think he's going to get Tempest with his Stargates. But he doesn't add the Fleet Beacon yet, even though he could. It might be one of those things where you have like a Stargate earlier, then you add it later because you just aren't really thinking about it. We see this a lot in PvZs, especially in Wings of Liberty. There's accidentally add a second Stargate before their Fleet Beacon just because they forgot they already had a Stargate for Harass earlier. Playing with fire here, these Stalkers.
Oracle's coming in, and this kind of late Oracle is going to be so annoying, but High Templar, somehow a herO was still thinking about it and aware.
We still don't have the second Stargate being used or a Fleet Beacon yet for Sora. Okay, now he's adding 2 more Stargates and a Fleet Beacon.
Okay, so just to get the numbers here, 4 Stargates and a Fleet Beacon here.
4 Stargate Tempest, but you know what? Here's what Sora is doing, I think. He's taking a look at the 4th base that herO's making. He's taking a look at the restance on the map and noticing that herO has never once moved out. The only pressure herO even tried to make, really, was when he moved that Warp Prism, which got sniped. He's like, I'm just not going to spend any money, really. As little as I can, and I'm going to dump all my money and all my gas into Tempest. Notice he's getting the air upgrades right now. The only money he's really spending is getting his +3 and getting his air upgrades.
This is really cool. We saw similar play from Sora out of him versus Zest, actually, in the first game that they played when Sora was able to defeat him 3-0. It was a little bit faster, and it was off his 2 Stargate, but he knew the rush distance, and he knew he would be able to get this out.
Okay,
but if he was paying attention, you know, 3 Stargates and Fleet Beacon, he's got to be like, oh, okay, I got to do something quick.
So I wonder how he's going to respond to this because, you know, it's already ready. I want to see a production tab because I want to know how many Tempest he's actually making right now. Like, we really need to see that. Okay, he's able to produce 2 right now. He's obviously not going to be producing off of that Stargate that's over at herO's base. That's too risky. herO decides to move out. He's able to identify, okay, you don't even really have any Tempest out yet. And I've got a ton of Colossi. Really good upgrades, too. Look at the army supply right now. It's heavily in herO's favor. He's got this larger army. He actually, I said he was making the hand army, but here's the fist. And it's coming for the punch, man. Can Sora catch it? 1 Tempest out right now. 2 to join in a second. He's going to have 3 Tempests. Well, actually, he's going to have 2 because the fight's happening really soon. That 4th is under attack.
Yep, really nice position back here. We do see 2 cannons. They're not going to do much against this many Colossi.
Good position here for herO.
He's got to get that blink down, though. There he goes. So close, this one.
Stalker counts are really important. You know, like you said, you need to get those Stalkers out there because losing Stalkers is really going to hurt. Big Zealot warping over here at the 4th base. Not able to get too much done.
Yep. We're going towards like super late game PvP at this moment.
Yep.
We got 4 bases up. We see both players making 3 Tempests at a time.
I wonder
this is going to get crazy.
I wonder if we're going to see Sora go for a mothership or not. Because we did see him try that before. That does end up being pretty effective in this matchup. Notably, both players only have 1 observer, and that Dark Shrine is done. 4 DT warp in right now. I don't know where the observer is, but you better hope it's in the right place when these DTs get into his main, or his natural, or his third. He can snipe that cannon in no time with +3 DTs.
Yep. He only has 1 observer out.
Yeah, both of them, only 1. Sora does make that mothership I was talking about. Snipe the cannon.
Gotta get that cannon down here. He gets it.
Yep, and he gets the pylon here too, so it can't be easily replaced. He's already killing some probes. Right now he's panicking, trying to figure out where his observer is, where he gets entered across the map, and is starting more cannons. He's not starting any more observers though. Okay, there's the observer.
Yep, there it is, but still DTs do a lot of damage.
They do a lot of damage, man. They certainly do. Kill several stalkers.
Yeah. Do you see the +1 to shields getting finished out of herO, and +2 is on the way?
+1 for air weapons was done for Sora for a while, but the shields are gonna obviously be really huge. Plus the fact that herO is caught up in the air upgrade. So 8-3 Tempest right now in Sora's favor. Man. Soon to be 8-6, but for now he's got that advantage, and he's gonna have the mothership. So sniping observers is gonna be a really nice move, a really nice thing to do here if you could actually get it, if you can actually find it and tag it and kill it. He also, he still has an Oracle, which can be really nice for spotters. You know, dropping that Revelation on top of the army will give him vision so he can use that longer range. 2 more Stargates coming out right now for herO, as he knows that, you know, he's got a ton of money, he needs to be ready to spend it. Nice catch on some of these units. He's not going to be able to get all of them, but Tempests are getting shots off here. This is hurting. Every time he has to turn, he makes himself more vulnerable.
Oh, and his
he needs to move
is so far behind.
He's not moving. Okay. He was not babysitting his army very well there.
Yep. Where is Tempest?
There they are.
They are.
All right, he needs to get these units fanned out. It's about to be a siege here.
He's making more
He
Stargates.
kills the mothership.
Man. That is actually so huge.
That's expensive, but most important of all, it's time. He has to rebuild that at a Nexus and then rebuild the mothership if he wants to have that as part of his army. It's not cheap either. Look at his money. He's out of gas. Big Zealot Warping over here.
We do have 2 cannons, more towards the left side of the space as well, and the army's pretty close, so it's not really going to do much.
5 more Tempests coming out here for herO. As units die, he replaces them, and he's actually going to have the better Tempest count with that. And that's not something that Sora can actually change unless some of his units die. Yeah, 4 more. It's going to be
very true. Look at this.
14
oracles.
He wants to have the tags. Look at this. herO doesn't need those immortals anymore. He's decided, I don't want those.
Yeah.
That's way too much wasted supply.
Very smart. We're getting so late game that you can just do stuff like this. Throw away 3 immortals because you need a better composition.
Yeah.
DT still be warping here. It's a very nice continuous harass thread. It's going to be more annoying than just plain Zealots.
This game is already getting pretty crazy, but what happens in this situation is oftentimes only harassment by Zealots while armies wait, because the person who tries to initialize the engagement usually gets a disadvantage, because when you try to engage, you know, your units, while you have to approach and you're going to eat fire, the defender is always going to have an inherent advantage. Uh-oh. Does he not have an observer with this army? I guess not.
Doesn't look like it.
Well, he's got oracles, so that's the key here. They can also become observers, essentially.
Yeah. 5th base coming up here. Look at all those cannons going down, even has 2 pylons here, and you know what? You have some counter.
This is some nice positional play. This is going to force the Tempest and this entire army to come back over here. I think he's actually going to get the Nexus, too. As you guys can see the bottom right, it's already very low.
I was a bit confused because Sora's got DTs as well. But like you said, these 2 DTs are doing a ton of damage.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not gonna, like it. Yeah. He's going to get it.
So
cannon's not up here.
He has so much money, he needs to be making these cannons. So we're going to see a lot more of this whole cannoning business going on. You're a cannon maker. Things are about to get pretty lucrative in this game. 6 cannons go up. Upgrades continuing to flourish here for herO. +2 and the +3 shields. Something that Sora is failing to continue to make. He's also down on Tempest right now. Something that's changing slowly, but 5 more for herO. when you have this many Tempests, is there a counter?
Except more Tempest.
That's what I was going to say.
And
that's
better mothership control, I guess.
Mothership control, detection, coverage for motherships, upgrades.
Yeah, upgrades, very important. Look at that. +2 shields.
Yeah, and +2 attack to 1.
Yeah. Oh, man.
He's really messing up those upgrades, man. He could afford it. He's just quite frankly not thinking about it right now. herO has made a very, I mean, consider how much faster Sora started building Tempest. herO has made a flawless transition and now has the superior army.
Yeah.
It's still anyone's game to take because this is PvP. This will be decided most likely by one big engagement, or I suppose maybe a lot of little skirmishes that lead up to a big engagement, because we're going to see a lot of Tempest pokes, and Zealot harassment will continue with every time you have any free supply, it's going to go to Zealots for a little while.
Look at these 2 sentries floating to their deaths over here.
Yeah, he doesn't need those anymore.
Need the supply.
Guardian Shield would be nice to have for one of them, I guess, but I mean, maybe behooves nations to tank some shots. But okay,
well,
he's going to give the Colossus too.
Yeah.
This is not a mistake, mind you guys at home. This is totally intentional. He's trying to give away these sentries as well. And now what becomes the funny strat is to not kill your opponent's sentries so that he can't build more Tempests. He's trying, but the range is too high. He has to kill them. They were going to run into the cannons
It would be
anyway.
too annoying, like, to just continuously move your army. So it's
he like starts shooting his own Nexus with the cannons so that he can't make Tempest. Big warp in here. Well, not so much a warp in, I guess, as a drop. Dropping this Immortal because he wants to get rid of it anyways. Yeah,
and right now, herO's going for the attack in the meantime.
He's getting really deep into this territory, man. And let's see how he responds, how Sora responds. Every shot counts right now.
He just got a really big hit on that mothership.
Yep, he's going to get another one.
Goes down.
It's down.
Oh, man.
It cost, that move out right there cost him big. And this is now a game like that is kind of about banks, because when you kill a unit or two, it can almost be instantly replaced, but this has not been dealt with.
You know what? He was trying to make an observer here. He's got 2, but none at home. And now hero's got to turn all the way back to deal with the DTs, or it's just going to kill his entire base.
Yeah, infrastructure is being damaged quite heavily here. He's in fact warping in additional DTs. Over here, a big warp in the Zealots though, with all that free supply from the army that he lost. He's going to go for the core.
+2 to shields on the Forge would be pretty nice.
Yeah, or get that core, so no more upgrades for the air units. This is not being dealt with either. This is a really slow comp. He's going to lose that Robo, which means no more no more Observer production. He's not really targeting these because I think he was really concerned about his own defense at home. He could have done a lot more damage had he decided to target the core and or the Forge. These are just things that are really hard to think of when you're doing 8,000 other things in late game PvP. Let's talk about banks. 3,500, 1,800 right now for herO. Sora, much less on the bank right now. And that's an issue when we start seeing Tempests get picked off here and there.
Yep.
Or motherships get sniped, because that often is what gets sniped first, because it's the biggest target. It's got a lot of priority, and by priority I mean like you are prioritizing it because it cloaks all the units. It's big, it's important, it's expensive.
herO right now is trying to decide exactly how he's going to make his army maxed right now. He's got 181 supply. He's taking it a bit slow. He made 1 Archon. Right now he's making a mothership, but not much else.
Yeah, I think what he's mostly wanting to do is keep that harass supply free so he can continue to warp in units with warp prisms to harass like that, rather than, just building his army then having no potential to do damage, which is where Sora's at right now. He can't really do anything. He's even, deciding, these players even have to think about things like, how many observers do I really want?
Yeah.
Because, it'll take like 6 observers to make up 1 Tempest, but Sora's got almost that many. He's got 5 observers right now, which I think honestly is not a bad choice considering all the cloaked units that we're seeing really come into play in this game. Look at what we're seeing here. This cannon may not finish. And yeah, all these Tempests here, his base is definitely a big fat cancel, man.
Could decide to take the bases towards the top right, but herO is kind of expanding, or rather Sora is expanding that way.
He's looming that army, man. He's getting close.
Yeah.
He recalls even. He got a bit stressed out there. Did not want that to be the place where he engaged. Let's talk about something else that's really different between these two compositions. There are 8 Archons in herO's army. Should those Archons be able to get in and do some splash damage, it'll make a big difference. If they can't, though, they're basically dead supply, and they make up part of that 2 Tempest difference that we've got. If you look at 22 to 20 right now, still in Sora's favor.
Yeah, that's what he decided to max out on. Pretty interesting idea. I like it. He's really trying to think out of the box. He wants to win this one.
Forge gets sniped here, which means that he can't make any more cannons until he makes a new one. Probes are now being tossed. How many is he going to throw away? I guess we can look at that sexy UI right above our mini-map. Looks like he's going to get about 15 supply off of that.
Really good
right
idea.
on the money on that one. Good guess, Wolf.
Yeah, there's the warp in with the extra supply that he just got.
So, 2 Oracles each. DTs are really negligible because they're just going to be suicided for harassment. Again, the better bank for herO, especially in gas, is the most important part, but here's the probe toss for Sora. Decides to turn those other 2 around for some reason.
Those 2 chickened out at the last moment. Then they just got killed by all the Tempests.
5 more Tempest is able to make with those tosses.
The air armor upgrades are starting to come out here for Sora.
Yeah, he's catching up in that regard. Ooh, that firepower. Archon's taking some damage here.
Yeah, some pot shots. Looks like herO may want to go for this one. He's pushing ahead pretty aggressively here.
Yeah, he's got those Archons leading the charge.
Got the tag.
Yeah, he has to recall. He has to. Those Archons are getting too close. Even though the Archons, they're slow and they have low range, if you turn to shoot at them, it gives the other Tempest a chance to get in. Then with the overkill on the Tempest, you're wasting too many shots, and then suddenly the Tempest of herO just get too much on you. I think the recall is a very smart choice there. 7 Tempest difference. Keep in mind, that's a pretty huge difference between these 2.
Yeah.
A lot of that comes down to the Archons.
Really want to see how those Archons are going to play out here in the fight when they finally have it.
I wonder if herO will consider throwing them away. I think he's probably thinking about that pretty hard right now. He's like, do I really want these or do I want to give them away? Because I'm not sure if they're going to end up helping.
It's a good question, but I feel like he already made that thought process because he was waiting on 180 supply for so long and then made all the Archons.
Losing one of them now,
yeah,
unintentionally. If the fight occurs, it's very important for the units to be fanned out, especially against the Archons because of that splash damage. But he's going to want to make sure that all of his Tempests can fire simultaneously. If the units are stacked, obviously that becomes very easy. But if you have a fan, it's just a lot easier to make sure all your units are firing, and also to make sure that you can have a good judge of what's happening in the fight. Because as the units get stacked up, it's hard to see what's going on. Upgrade's actually now going in the favor of Sora. He's really pushed ahead in that regard. I don't think that's going to... That's the kind of thing that probably won't matter anytime soon until the fight happens. So if the fight happens soon, it matters. But otherwise, probably eventually we're all going to have 3-3-3. And in the case of Tempest, 3-3-3-3-3.
3-3-3. All the 3s in the world. Well, Sora bunching up his army here in the middle of the map, starting to send out those Oracles. Looks like he's starting to get a little bit more confident here. He's trying to scout out exactly where the army of herO is, and if he can take in an engagement here.
It's so hard for him to even tag the army at this point.
Look at the air armor of herO. He's just getting +1 right now.
Yeah, he's pretty behind.
Sora has +3.
The armor for the ground units is in favor of herO, which only matters for harassment, which we haven't seen a whole lot of. There is a Warp Prism on the way as well as a ton of gates here. I think the idea with this, because let's think about some other things that are going to happen later on. I think the idea with this big gateway supernova is if these 2 trade fairly evenly in a fight, what are you going to be able to remake faster to end the game to kill buildings? It's going to be Zealots. You're going to make 20, 30 Zealots, however many you can afford, and you're going to send them to the base to try to end the game if that's what it comes down to. Tempest can kill buildings, yeah, but it's going to take a long time. If you have a big gateway thing, a big gateway pool to build from, when that fight happens, you're going to be 1 step ahead because you're going to be able to make way more Zealots with that bank.
Look at all these cannons, man. Even this huge amount of Zealots is probably not going to be able to break all these down.
This is my final cast point. I'm going to the cannon business. PvP meta's changing, man. I think I got to take a new horizon.
Yeah. Look at all these Zealots just go down.
But look at how much damage they do before they do.
Yeah, I think he's got to go for the pylons instead. There's not that many pylons over there.
Yeah, I don't think he's even really multi-managing it, or micromanaging it, excuse me.
Well, he does move his Tempest over here. Try to take down the space. Sora could possibly take a position here in the middle of the map.
This is what he wants. This is what he's going to try to do. His big Tempest ball is going to sort of eats that Tempest Ball of herO for lunch. He's going to try to catch him at a weird angle here.
If he gets the first shots.
He has to recall, I think. I don't think he should try to take an engagement here. Is he going to recall?
He's got to recall.
He's got to recall. There it is. Oh, 59 hit points.
That mothership goes down, you don't get that recall, that's possibly GG.
That's probably the game, especially with those Tempest pumped up on move command trying to defend them there. Now he's going to come over here and take a base for himself.
Where did herO recall to? Okay, it's the base above here.
Yeah, just above there.
With this many Tempests, he could just like click on the Nexus instead of killing all these cannons. I guess he's just opening it up.
Oh, he's got a recall too. He didn't get an Archon, right? Oh, one Tempest left behind. And the Observer too. That's kind of important. Tempest is like 1 hit point left. All right, Zealots, meanwhile, are getting some of this infrastructure. Yeah. And he's able to tag the Warp Prism, but not eliminate it.
What's going on in the middle of the map? What are those? Are those pylons?
Yeah. Because they spot, and they also absorb damage. I think it's a pretty smart move. Why make observers for vision when you can just make pylons for 100 minerals and you're going to be able to see everything, and also slow your opponent down as he moves across the map.
Yeah, good idea here. But again, forcing that recall here out of Sora means herO again can move up to take out the Nexus above him right now.
Yeah, this Nexus was kind of a weird one. I think he thought it was a good idea positionally because he'd be able to harass and defend at the same time, but he never really even ended up getting to use it. And that's a lot of money that he spent. Look at the mineral difference. Also, he didn't snipe that Nexus since he was forced to recall, so herO still has that base over him since he killed the base and was able to successfully recall. Tag, you're it.
Or the squad.
Nexus being remade now.
Goes in. Ground Armor 3 is coming up here for herO. He's not skimping on any upgrades at this moment. Slowly getting the air upgrades as well.
Sora has way more probes. He has 19 more probes. I can get him 3 more Tempests, I guess. So that's something to keep in mind. But he wants to keep him for now while he's mining. But he needs to get mining up to make use of that. Okay, yeah. This army is getting into a dangerous spot right now. He's going to get this Nexus, I feel, for sure. In fact, I'm surprised he's still alive. Okay, one more volley. And he's going to recall.
Yep, there it is. Kind of trading Nexuses.
Yeah. That's how it's just going to be for a while, because neither of these players are going to be comfortable enough to engage against each other. This is the type of game that, like, might potentially even end in a stalemate if neither player is confident enough to engage. I don't think we'll have that, but you notice they're both so scared to engage each other. They can't, like, press U and see the unit tab and say, okay, well, he's got 26, I've got 24. When is his upgrades going to finish, and where is he moving, and what is he thinking? That's why all these oracles are so important, because it's the only way to gain vision, to gain an advantage over your opponent, to try to outposition him, because otherwise you can't even see where he is, and then he's killing your Nexus, and then he's going to bounce away with his own recall.
herO's in a really aggressive spot right now. He's got to be careful. Look at his supply. He's not making anything. There we go. Finally, 3 Tempests and 2 Oracles coming in.
I think he's realizing the Archons are not really...
They're not really the way to go.
They're not really paying off for him. Yeah. I like the idea, but I just don't think they're really going to come into play, at least for a while they're not, right? They're not going to come into play on these Nexus snipes. And then maybe if he wants to have those Archons in his army for later, if he thinks he's going to get that splash damage, maybe later's the time when you want to remake those, or maybe just throw them away now, try to do a drop with them or something instead.
Yeah. This is such a crazy game, by the way. Like, we do not normally get 45-minute PvPs, but you know, a big map like this, Deadwing, can possibly force games like this at times.
Yeah. I mean, this is how things used to be for a while in Wings of Liberty. It was pretty common to have this, but now we've got this new unit, the Tempest, that gives a new meaning to late-game PvP, because before it was just Colossi, people were scared to engage, they kind of run around each other and recall with the mothership. Oh, this is nice.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of probe kills.
Yeah, that he is. Force the recall. And every recall is so important right now. All the mothership core energy is really important, because when you want to kill a Nexus and run away, if you don't have that energy, you just don't have that liberty. So forcing a recall like that is nice. In fact, I might not have even recalled like that. I might have just like run my probes away and tried to send some other units over there, because that's a ton of energy.
Because actually right now, I mean, probes are not the most important unit. You can use that supply as well, so it's not even that bad of a thing. These guys are getting really close. Something
I didn't really think about, we didn't really talk about, is the Archons can give vision on the Watchtower, which is pretty important, like actually kind of insanely.
That is true.
DTs could do the same, I guess. There are still 7 DTs on the map somewhere for Sora.
Yeah, where are those guys?
He's using them for drop defense a little bit, I think. They're kind of scattered around the bases, I think. Okay. So, let's see. There's finally that last armor upgrade for herO, which I believe Sora has.
Yeah, Sora's...
He's had that for a while, I think.
Yeah.
No, don't click on the minerals. Okay. I think herO's like almost decided he's had enough. He keeps moving in these ways where I'm like, you're just going to take the engagement as the attacker. Keep in mind also, for herO, if this is the type of game he doesn't want to play and he's really frustrated, he might just try to end it faster so he can move on to the next game because he's ahead in the series. Because this actually becomes a game of patience, to be frank, as well. There's those cancels on those cannons. He's like trying to dodge the type of shots with his cancels. All right, he sees the army coming. He's got it tagged. Does he have a recall?
Sure he does.
I hope so, because he's in a pretty scary situation otherwise.
Yeah, it seems like just for now he's just running away.
I think he's considering not doing it. He's actually just going to take an engagement. He needs a recall.
The recall coming in.
Ooh, that was intense, man. That was so close.
The Archons were getting all up in there as well. You see them running over.
Yeah,
if they were all bunched up and he lost his mothership core.
Yeah, if you fail a recall
mothership rather,
with those Archons underneath, that's way too much extra damage. On top of the fact that your army's in its worst possible state in a giant ball, unable to fan out and do its maximum damage.
Yeah.
This has been a really great, fun game.
Yeah. Great series so far.
So, the mothership here, lagging a bit behind. He's got to be careful. herO looks like he wants to engage. And it may happen. We may have it. Picking up a few of these units.
And right now, Sora can't run.
He's kiting. And here come those Archons. They don't quite get in there, but they tank. And that gives more shots to the following units. And here come those Oracles up at the front. A lot of damage being done here. Barely even trades, though.
Yeah, really, really even here.
Losing the mothership would be so terrible, though. +3 armor is finishing now. 6 more Oracles on the way.
The shots that were coming out of herO's Tempest were hitting the Tempest of Sora on the edge rather than the mothership.
Oh, he wants it. He wants it, and he gets it. That was a great move there. That tag gave him vision. He just had to right-click it on it one more time. And that is huge. No more recall potential. This army needs to get away. You cannot afford to remake that. He has to get it back, and now this is a really awkward position. And finally, Sora decides now is the time to get rid of those extra probes. He's going to get rid of them.
16 High Templar were just made by herO. 16. It's going to be 8 Archons.
7 more Tempests remade by Sora. He needs that mothership back. I really feel that recalls are the way to go to harass and kill bases like he's doing right now. Meanwhile, they're both trading here.
Yeah, they're just trading for now. But again, like you just said, Sora still has that mothership. He will be able to recall, whereas herO can't.
He doesn't. Has he even remade it? I don't know if he is. We don't.
I didn't see it yet on the production.
He's not making it.
Yeah.
He may just decide that he wants to have more units instead, and he doesn't want to play that recall game anymore.
He's going straight towards where Sora's army is.
Yeah, look at the flexibility that Sora has with the recall, though. Uh-oh, but herO's ignoring this army. He's actually just coming in here. It's actually going to be kind of...
Look at this. Huge warp in. That's where all those gateways come in. Built 15 minutes ago.
Yep. All right, there's the recall. These Stalkers get trapped. Positionally, though, this allows herO to actually move into another place where he can wedge over.
Exactly. You can take out that other Nexus over here to the east.
Exactly. Well, these Archons are going to tank these cannons, no problem. The question is Sora going to engage? herO's trying to force it. And that's a lot of Archons. With this many Archons, you may actually certainly be able to get underneath there, at least with a good amount of them. You know, when I was thinking about the 8 Archons, or rather, the smaller amount of Archons, not was really going to work out, but a large amount like this, you're almost certain to get underneath. Gets that base barely and gets out, losing a few Archons here. Look at the minerals for Sora. He's hurting.
He's mining with 1 probe right now. Okay, he starts a little bit more mining there. But yeah, you're right. I mean, he doesn't have much.
He needs to get all his remaining probes over to that base to the, 630. Right to the left of that little V down there.
Sora wants to have this fight, actually. He's just going straight on.
Well, he knows he has a huge Tempest advantage, and when he has a Tempest advantage, until the Archons and stuff turn around, he can keep chasing. When the Archons turn around, then he wants to kite, but then he's already done the damage he wants. So he knows his Tempest advantage is something he can use in this particular case, especially because he has the Mothership and he can recall.
Yeah. Dark Templar is being made here, makes him into more Archons.
Yep. It's the most efficient way to make a Dark Templar.
Uh-oh.
He's not bunched up. It's hard to recall. He's going to lose some of his units here, but he will eventually be able to recall. But he doesn't have enough money to remake a Tempest. Every Tempest counts.
Look at these Stalkers almost focused on a Tempest here.
Yeah. That armor making a huge difference.
Recall coming in.
Patience, the patience here.
Is Sora's only mining base that one we were talking about, that 630? It looks like it. That's the only place I see real movement.
Yeah.
Seems like he's remaking those Nexi over to the east.
Yeah, he's got one over there. If he could take that top right Nexus, I think that would be ideal, because that's the furthest one. All right, it begins! Here we go! The fight is on! He needs to get those Archons underneath the army.
Archons go straight under, but again, the Tempest countering now for sure is so huge, and he still has that Mothership. It finally goes down, but the Tempest of herO are going way, way down.
What is he warping in?
What's going on down there? Stalkers.
20 gateways is going on down there.
herO scratches his face. GG.
But he warps in so much of those gates, it just doesn't matter.
What was that?
I said it earlier. I just didn't think Archons were the way to go.
Certainly didn't seem to be that way, you know, in this game.
It just, they take so long to actually get underneath.
And finally when they did, I mean, the Tempest, there's so many of them, you just naturally fan out like that. Yeah. Wasn't really looking good. herO was really, really low on gas as well. I guess he just figured this was his only chance, especially after losing that Mothership.
All right, well, this is how Sora wins games in PvP. Oftentimes.
Like that.
And I say this as no joke.